What's up guys, Overture here, and I wanted to create a different video than what I normally put on my channel. It's still gaming and everything, but what I really focused my channel on was the FPS genre because, you know, that's the most genre that I like. I like playing FPS games, I like watching people play FPS games, I just like that genre in general, and you know, this time I wanted to make, you know, an RPG video because I like those kind of games also. I play games like Final Fantasy and Skyrim and all that other stuff, and now that the Final Fantasy 14 beta is out for the PS4, I wanted to kind of try it and make a video about it, not talking about on the beta in general, like the issues. Obviously there's going to be frame rate drops and lag and stuff like that since it is a beta, but I wanted to talk about this game in particular. Now, I want to go ahead and point it out there that I haven't played the beta on PC, I haven't played it for the PS3, I haven't played it on any other console, I've never seen anything about Final Fantasy 14, but just now playing it on the PS4, and I gotta say, this is one of the most fun MMORPGs that I have ever played, and I'm not a stranger to the genre. I've played a lot in my younger days when I was in high school, where I would gang up with my friends and we just raid together and play games. I remember we played World of Warcraft a little bit. I wasn't like a super into World of Warcraft. I remember my highest character was level 14. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and then we moved on to RuneScape, which again, it was fun, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't like that the graphics were really bad, and it felt like work to me. And then we ultimately moved on to this game. I forgot what it's called. It's called like Shin Megami Tensei something. It's like it's some kind of RPG where you're these characters trying to collect animals and stuff. I don't know. It wasn't fun for me either. And Fly for Fun, obviously another one, and ultimately Maple Story, which was by far my favorite out of them. I don't know, it was fast-paced, it was 2D, it was all the combos in it were fun to use, all the abilities. It was just an overall better experience than all the other MMORPGs, and now that I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, I'm sort of enjoying it a lot more. It's kind of bringing me back to how I felt back then playing Maple Story. And I think the most part to this is when I played an MMO, I remember sitting on my computer and I would just be like playing in silence, just kind of like enjoying it and trying to play, and it wasn't that fun. Like, I would remember thinking to myself, I'm pretty bored right now. I mean, I'm doing this mindless grinding and all this stuff, and there's no fun factor for me. It feels like it's not like immersing me into the world, or I don't feel like I'm contributing to anything. But with Final Fantasy 14, it's changed up a little bit. Like, for those of you who played Final Fantasy 13, they know sort of the kind of the quick battle style that changed the game as opposed to other Final Fantasy games, and they kind of did this with the whole MMORPG genre. They have the HP and MP like normal games, but then they added something called TP, which is your technical points. And it allows you to do all these combos. It regenerates quickly, so you can quickly do like a whole bunch of attacks in succession, build up your combo and do more damage. It makes it feel like you're not really playing an MMORPG type battle where you're just auto-attacking, you're waiting for your spell to cool down. It doesn't really feel like that. It feels like you're just trying to chain your combos in succession to deal the most amount of damage, and it spices up the gameplay a little bit, in my opinion. And also, another thing, I wanted that couch feel when I played an MMORPG. I like gaming on the couch, just sitting, relaxing, enjoying myself, not really worried about buttons on a keyboard, memorizing all the macros and all that sort of stuff. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, I don't know how to put all the buttons that I would need on a keyboard. There's only a certain number of configurations that I could think about. But Square Enix has done a very good job with this to make it so you can use the PS4 controller and have all the abilities at your proposal. What they do is they use the L2 and R2 to switch over to abilities, and you get to use your X, circle, square, triangle, and your D-pad as sort of your macros for abilities and stuff. And R2 is one set and L2 is the other one, so you can have essentially all your skills on one controller that you can easily use. And navigating the menus is actually pretty simple. You just press start like you would in Skyrim or any other RPG that you play on with a controller, and you just sort of navigate through the menu. You get to where you want to go, and you sort of set everything up where you want from there. They did a good job trying to appeal to those who like playing on the couch. They don't like sitting in front of a keyboard and just, slaving away on the keys. And I feel like that's a very good step in the right direction for bringing people into the MMORPG genre, because it allows players who don't necessarily like using keyboards, and it's kind of difficult for them to actually have fun and use a controller and be able to play with their friends, something that seems to have been lost in gaming nowadays. You don't see many people grouping up as much as they did before, and bringing sort of MMORPGs to the centerfold of consoles, it's kind of bridging the gap between that. And I know that this isn't the first MMORPG to do that. They have what's it called? The superhero game. I forgot what it is, but it's on the PS3 and PS4. You get to play as a superhero, and that's okay, but it has sort of the same feel of an MMORPG, where you just auto attack and auto attack. You wait for yourself to perform an ability, and it's just not appealing to me. And of course, they have what's that game for the PS4 now? It's that shooter where you're kind of an alien type dude. It's sort of like an MMORPG, but you're playing with 4 other people, and you do level after level, and that's just a totally different game in its genre. It's like a shooter type game. But anyways, the main point I want to make here is that Final Fantasy XIV is a fun experience. It's total immersion for me. The graphics are amazing. The world is beautiful. The dialogue is great. They try to spice it up a little bit of comedy in it to, make you laugh while you're trying to play. And the music, I gotta talk about the music. I'm not a very stickler when it comes to sound and stuff like that. But this game, it feels like you're in like some sort of fantasy Lord of the Rings-esque type world. Like, the music is just catchy. You find yourself like humming to the sounds that are playing, and you walk by a waterfall, you hear the crashing of the water on the rocks. It's very good at immersing yourself in this world, and I think Square Enix is a very good job for that. I read reviews somewhere that Final Fantasy XIV was a complete flop. They had to reborn it. That's why it's called A Realm Reborn. Final Fantasy XI wasn't that great either, but I feel like they've done this series justice. They really pulled themselves together and made a game that was really interesting. It's really fun. The gameplay is smooth and fast, and it's an overall enjoyable experience. Now, I'm not sure that I'm willing to pay a subscription for it after I buy the game. I'm really interested in Elder Scrolls, and I want to try that out before I make my decision. I want to be able to own one of these ones, but I really consider this a really good opportunity. For those who are on the fence about whether or not they should get this game, I say go for it. It's a better MMO than those currently out there, in my opinion, just from playing the beta for a couple hours, and I really enjoy it. I really do, and I feel like those of you who do play MMOs and are kind of tired of the same old song and dance where they have to do the slow-paced battle style, you have to grind endlessly, I suggest you give this a chance, because I honestly think you will be impressed by the quality of this game. But anyways, this is Overture Soul. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about the beta on PS4. Let me know what you think about Final Fantasy XIV in general. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game. Anyways, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you want to see more, I'm gonna try and post more before the beta ends. I have a couple ideas for this game, and anyways, Overture Soul. Have a good day. Have a